The Continuum Gallery is sponsored by the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design. IPFW, the energy of the arts. As a part of my public project for creativity and community with Dr. Kane at IPFW, we've been studying the intersections of creativity and community. And the place that I want to highlight and showcase where I think that Fort Wayne has the intersection of creativity and community is here at the Continuum Art Gallery. In an effort to help with the revitalization of downtown Fort Wayne, Scott and Melissa Glaze approached Chuck O'Connor about opening a gallery downtown.
Our purpose was to come to downtown and purchase something and revitalize it and just have a place, a space that someone could come in and create something, and it ended up that we were the ones that created something initially.
After months of discussion, the plan and the people came together to create the Continuum Art Gallery. This documentary is an exploration, along with the people who make up the Continuum Art Gallery, about what the process of starting this new gallery in downtown Fort Wayne has been like and what it means to them. Each person who has joined and been a part of the Continuum, either as a board member or as a volunteer, has had to, within that time frame, explore what it takes to become an artist in the Fort Wayne community. What is the Fort Wayne art community like? What is it like having to do business with the downtown businesses here in Fort Wayne?
Part of what we want the Continuum Gallery to contribute to is the building of a quality of life here in Fort Wayne. So people want to move here. Young people want to stay here. People want to start companies here. It has to be a nice place to live. And we have so much to offer already. We have a beautiful city, great cost of living, beautiful rivers, bike trails, a growing art scene. This is going to add to that mix so that someday this will be a very, very dynamic place. I immediately gave Julie Waltoles a call, and as well as Al Martin, who heads the gallery. And I said, would you guys like to be involved with this? And what do you think? You think you might be able to make it work for yourselves? And they said, yeah, that's very, very exciting.
Well, we've had many people in the past from IPFW, many groups of alumni have tried to start a successful gallery in downtown Fort Wayne, and it's very difficult. It's a hard thing to do. So I think that Chuck O'Connor knew that there was a want for this through the IPFW alumni, and so he came to a group of us and asked us if we would be interested in helping him get this gallery started. And of course everybody was interested and people just jumped on the bandwagon like you would not believe. And I love Fort Wayne, and I want to see it grow, and I want to see people stay here and be excited to be here and make downtown a real destination. Many people want to see downtown become a real culture spot, and they want to see Fort Wayne's local culture flourish. And through doing that, I think that you need more pop-up venues that have different local musicians and dancers and artists, of course, and I think it really gives you a sense of pride in the community that you live in, and when you feel that way about your community, you're going to go out and support more things within it. For the size of the community that we live in, the need for something like Continuum Art Gallery is very great. There are so many people within the community that are very, very talented artists. Then it looks like you don't have a bra on.
Right, that's what we want.
Well, you can't see it this way because of the line. Oh, that's true. Okay.
I was taking marketing classes because I wanted to make a lot of money, and when I look at the second semester of classes, I realized that getting to where I was making a lot of money wasn't going to be enjoyable, so I looked at other ways that I could make a living, and photography was fun, and people had told me that I'd taken good pictures, so I decided to just jump into it. I actually got involved with the gallery because I used to intern in the dean's office with Susan Domer a few semesters ago, and knew Chuck that way, and he and I had a discussion about grad school this spring, and he said, hey, I've got this gallery downtown that I'd really like you to be a part of. So I wanted to, see how it all ran, and I wanted to get into the more fine art side of art.
I don't have anything to screw
Oh,
up.
you didn't put any plastic?
The glass is actually in the back. I decided that it kind of looks better without it. So.
Okay, no, I was just curious.
Yeah.
What kind of paper is that?
It's
The
some
textured?
some textured paper with a little colored pencil on it. You know.
I was working in the wood shop one day and they were building pedestals. And I asked what they were doing, and they said they were building pedestals for a new gallery. And somebody said I should talk to the dean, and so I went and made an appointment with the dean and offered my services, and here I am. We've had to build everything from scratch: a hanging system, brackets for hanging the art, pedestals, painting, cleaning up, getting artists and getting the correct art in the gallery, getting ready the attic space upstairs for consignment work. And as far as the opening, no, it actually, I think it drives me to make a better show because it's like, man, I want to get these really good artists in here. I want to showcase them. I want to give them an opportunity to have their own little space, their own little place to exhibit, to express themselves, and then it gives me that drive to want to go home the next day and I got an idea. It's important on so many different levels. It gives you an opportunity to express yourself, and also to express yourself to people that you wouldn't normally express yourself to. It gets you an ability to talk to people you've never talked to. One of the great things about art openings is you get to, rub elbows with all kinds of people, artists, patrons, people off the street that are just looking to see what's going on. And that, like I said, that idea of community, I think is important because in today's society, we're so detached. Everything's email, everything's text, whereas, you don't get that one-on-one anymore.
Place to show their work to the public, to the community. It gives them a chance to be involved with other businesses that are downtown in the community that they live in Fort Wayne. To share experiences about artwork, to educate about artwork, because art's good. Without art, we would be a pretty dull society. It's something new that can open up some place to go that maybe you didn't know it was downtown, and to try to get more people downtown and involved and see exactly really what Fort Wayne has to offer. They really have a lot to offer, really. How to generate more revenue, start getting the revenue taken care of, thinking about the website.
I became involved with the Continuum Art Gallery as I was working on a documentary project about the Continuum Art Gallery. After spending my time hauling video equipment around, the board members asked me if I would like to be involved, and naturally I've thought, yes, of course I want to be involved. It's an exciting prospect to be downtown and to get the opportunity to meet the artists and other community members and to see what kind of art is actually taking place in Fort Wayne. Because Fort Wayne's not really known for being a high art community. So to actually have an opportunity to make that community grow and to become a part of that community, I was excited to jump on board.
It's not, the new
Okay, but curtains
art
up,
is
maybe
not
I'll
something
make crazy
risque.
hair,
It's risque in Fort Wayne, but anywhere else it's not.
I guess it's all, it's exposure for your artwork, and you're kind of involved with the community, and it's just kind of a nice thing to have. It adds kind of culture to a downtown.
I hope that people see that art and the art community and artists in general are just regular people like everyone else, and that I'd like my art to be accessible to all people. I grew up, in the country, small town, blue-collar family, and those are the people that I relate to, and I would like for those people to relate to my work. Those aren't necessarily the kind of people that come out to art shows all the time, but I've done my part in trying to bring those people out and kind of show them, it's for all of us. There's nothing really special about it. You don't have to have a lot of money, and you don't have to have a college education. It's for everyone. That interconnected nature is what it comes back to. Is that we're all part of this kind of stream of consciousness, that a lot of times we build these walls up between ourselves based on all of our little differences, but I believe in the end we're all just one body of human beings. You know, we breathe the same air, we drink the same water. We all kind of race around in circles together.
Designed for a woman, not a guy.
Well, I'm a small man.
I think your head's just a little bit bigger.
That's fantastic.
I kind of heard about it, through the grapevine from a whole bunch of friends that, a gallery was going to be going on downtown or being put together, and I was kind of like, yeah, that's cool. Then I kind of, volunteered a little bit of my time, if they needed any type of help, because, this is freaking awesome. I'm like, yeah, this is what Fort Wayne needs, another gallery, something that's kind of Chicago style, but, that's for the artists and whatnot. So.
That's cool. Yeah, I can see that. But then I look at the background and I see kind of the texture of the wood grain and that, with the growth growing on it like mold or fungus. And then as you look around with the crystals, and then they have the dark centers on some of them, like that, kind of reminds me of a model.
Anyone who is an artist and has work that they would like to put on display or sell can submit it to the Continuum Art Gallery. The gallery consists of 3 levels. The first floor is the fine art floor that rolls over every 6 weeks with new shows. The top floor, or the attic space, is the consignment area where artists can put their work on display and sell their artwork. And the third space of the Continuum Art Gallery is the basement, or where the installation pieces are put on display.
I think of it more as like, I try to compare the individual plastic objects that I use to people. And at the time when I was making this series, I was thinking a lot about freedom. Like, for instance, like, when do we feel free? And we feel free when we get to do what we want. But, like, if you really think about it, that doesn't necessarily mean we're any freer than we are at other times. We're happy, and that's why we feel free. And so, these plastic objects that I use, I feel so sad for them when I see them at the store, and they need a place to belong, I think. And I probably feel this way because I grew up moving a lot, and often when I was growing up, I felt like I didn't fit in at the school I was at, or I didn't feel the connection with my classmates. And so I feel I get a lot of pleasure from making these pieces fit together and connect. Well, Plunge was part of my MFA show. That was, I'd say, the second in the series, as a group, I mean. There were 6 of them at the time. And for this series, I was really focused on the motion. The penguins have a trail of bubbles behind their body. Each of them has kind of a trail, almost like you see in cartoon, like behind a rocket or a torpedo or something. And they really look like that underwater when you look at the photographs. I've shown it 8 times, different groupings. Like sometimes I would have 6 of them, and then lately, well, I made 2 more since my MFA show, and I sold 1, so now I have 7. And it makes you feel like you're underwater looking up at the penguins that are diving into it. And it's an angle that you would only get, you would have to be underwater to be able to see them diving. It's a contrast between the slow waddling creatures and the land, and then when they go in water, they just fly really fast. Oh yes, and it's really an experience to go in there and be surrounded by these penguins, and you really feel like you're underwater. Well, now I'm more and more interested in having the lights. So we're incorporating, and because the basement in the Continuum Gallery is kind of experimental space with a lot of different lighting options, but not the conventional spotlights like most galleries have. So we were experimenting a lot with that.
It's actually a really artistic area that we live in, because most people don't think about Fort Wayne being, having art everywhere, but just driving through downtown, you see it on the corners everywhere, and we have all the different galleries and museums that we have available to the public. I don't think that too much art is a bad thing.
So Al, our CEO, he's always saying go global, or go bigger. I'm trying to just get the word out that this is a really great thing to help downtown, to help local artists, young artists, get their work out, a great place to show. I mean, I think the biggest struggle for artists is to get your work into galleries or get them into shows.
Well, you got some stuff you wanna get rid of?
Actually, I was talking to Al, and Al told me I was just talking to you about membership and stuff like that. So.
Well, not membership, but you can get art.
They talk about this gallery. This gallery is going to help put Fort Wayne on the map. People are going to be Fort Wayne. Oh yeah, I know Fort Wayne. They got that stadium downtown. They got that art gallery that connects with some of the places in Chicago and New York and Los Angeles. And, I would like to see this going further than that. Maybe this gallery connecting with Paris, Beijing, and Sydney. Like, it would be really cool to just get the magnitude of artists bringing that fire and that richness of culture and art to little old Fort Wayne.
There's still a certain element of that brand that I kind of want to be able to exhibit here in this space without me having to slap a logo on it. And so thematically, a lot of things kind of are the same. And ultimately, I'm hoping that people could see this work here and then look at my other body of work and see kind of the resemblance.
How do you get a younger generation involved in maintaining what community has already been built by other establishments like the Fort Wayne Museum of Art, ArtLink, and the Fort Wayne Philharmonic, just to name a few of the organizations that sponsor artists here in this community? What makes an artist? Is it the degree? Is it the talent? Is it the subject matter? And what is the art community in downtown Fort Wayne like? Who makes up this community, and what does it take to be accepted in this group? And how does this group have an impact on the community at large, with the people who come in to see the art, who buy the art, and who support the artists in this community?
I think it's amazing. I think it's beautiful. It's a nice addition to downtown.
Artists in this area to showcase their work and see how a gallery is really run, and learn to see what it takes to go from conception of the work to making a sale, and what you need to do to make your art a business. My subject matter, it's been slowly changing, and I think it's starting to plateau into something that I can really focus on. I like doing life-size self-portraits because I think they help me better understand myself through them and what I'm feeling at a certain time, or things around me, how they affect me specifically. And also, I love the beauty of wood, and I've been really fascinated with different wood grains and colors just within the natural state of itself.
I think it's a really great space, and I think it's really going to work well. And from the response, I think everyone's really enjoying it.
And the art is actually pretty good. I think it's nice and it's hip. A lot of times you go out to a show and it's all the same stuff, or it's like it's just one artist or two artists, and they all paint a certain way.
I just want people to know that pictures of them shouldn't just be smile at the camera and pose and like everything else, because a picture of yourself can be amazing, amazing art. Actually, my piece that I have for the gallery is one of the pieces that I was thinking about using for my senior project. And now that it's going in the gallery, it isn't. I found out that my brother-in-law had a love of vampires, so in doing the session with him and my sister, I opted to do something very sensual for their home that's going on their walls. And I actually took pictures of fire in my own house and dropped those in as the backdrop for the image.
We're all so gracious because I designed it, but Saeed came up with the idea, Julie got the toilet, so it really was like a group installation. It's a showstopper where people are going to think of our gallery, they're going to think of our toilets and remember us and hopefully come back to see what we're going to do next.
There's so many people. I know at the second floor up here, there's so many people crammed in there. You could feel the vibrations in the room. It was just, how many people are actually in this room? It was awesome.
I think it's awesome. I think that this type of thing really, it's time for it to be in downtown Fort Wayne. I think we're ready for it, and I think that it'll help bring a new energy to the area that'll catch on.
We expect to see invention and innovation and creativity. And when we go to art galleries or the museums and we see something that's really, really unique and original, it gets our own minds going. It kind of reminds us of what our own potential can be, to think differently. And I think that this is the heart of a creative community, is to have a very, very strong art scene.
I got involved in ceramics in high school. I don't know, I guess as a kid, I've always been very tactile, spent a lot of time outdoors, you know, playing in the woods and whatever, so I always had a knack for wanting to feel things, and clay is the most tactile thing you can get into, so I just fell in love with it. I guess to me, it's just self-expression. It's a need to release this desire that I have within me to express myself, and you know, I found that clay and painting really is a means to do that. Well, the main message of my work is to hopefully to invoke a sense of connection to nature, and I try to do that by sort of incorporating a sense of bodily form with natural textures and color and everything, and so I hope to build that connection with people, and I guess the ultimate goal is so people pay attention more to their environment and hopefully preserve it.
It is pottery, but it's sculpture related. Most of my work is based on the vessel, but more of a non-functional nature. I try to blur the lines between pottery and sculpture.
I do a specific crystalline pottery, so mine is very specific. It's not like just a normal pottery, which I do functional and just about any kind of pottery that you want. But this is very specific. It's very time consuming. It's very expensive to do, but they're one of a kind. So I'm really trying to kind of mimic nature in a way when I grow the crystals in my glaze.
Most of my artwork is figurative. I do very little else really, and like I said, most of the time it's figurative narratives. So either have figures interacting with one another, or you'll have you know, figures in a space. And a lot of times, I treat things symbolically. And so if I'm doing a biblical story, if I'm doing a story from classic literature, or even if it's just a narrative I've made up myself, I kind of have them. I kind of speak in the language of symbols, and so I'm kind of conveying a story just through symbols when I work.
I really don't know what else there is to life other than to be able to create. That's, you know, art just is for me. You know, it's part of my essence. It's part of who I am. It is how we communicate with others in the world. I mean, if we look back at past ancient civilizations, what do we know of that civilization? We don't know because we just happen to pick up like a copy of their latest newspaper. No, we know about the civilization because of the art that they left behind, the sculptures, the vases, the monuments, the architecture. You know, that's why we know what we know about these cultures. It's humanity. That's what art really is. And I don't see how really we as a civilization or as a human, you know, as a race, a species, can actually exist without communicating our ideas and our thoughts without doing it through an expression of some sort of creation. That's kind of what art is to me.
I do painting. I do oils, acrylic, watercolor, but also, I mean, every artist is going to tell you this, I have a passion for woodworking, ceramics, anything that is artsy, crafty, creative, that's pretty much what I'm about. But yes, my focus is painting. My artwork is about development and potential that each adult has. So when you see them, they start out figures that are in fetal position, and now they're figures that look out at the viewer, and it's all about going to the basic me.
Art, to me, is an opportunity for self-expression. To express what is on the inside for the rest of the world to see. It's an opportunity for the outside to get to know you on a more intimate level in a way that you can't express in just words. And it's an opportunity to even combine words with images to express something in a new and different way that maybe somebody else hasn't even thought to see something. Like, nobody ever looks at a Picasso and gets the same impression from it. So to me, art is an opportunity to expand upon the conversation. I knew I liked to be creative and to do creative projects, and my art is inspired by things out of nature, and I like to explore different mediums. I've had an interest in photography at an early age, got involved with photography as a yearbook photographer in high school, and from there it progressed to an interest in video, and I've also been exploring drawing and painting, and for me the sky is the limit. Wherever my creativity takes me is where I follow with my artwork. To actually sit down and write the artist statement and say, I'm an artist, was really a challenge for me. And even now, what I've been learning is that it doesn't matter if you have that art degree or have no art history or anything like that. It's where you take your creativity and your imagination, and what you do with it is what really makes art. To me, I'm just having fun. This is what I enjoy doing. This has been a look at what the intersection of creativity and community looks like here at the Continuum Art Gallery. The people who volunteer their time hope that you will be inspired to come in and see what art from the artists that are from this area, from the outlying regional area, and internationally known artists. We hope to continue to build and grow and learn from the mistakes that we've made to continue to be a part of the art community here in Fort Wayne.